so cool. Yeah. Yeah, it does. Send them the high-res file, too. Nerds at the Cool Table, episode 41, but episode 2 being recorded at Sideshow Studios.
Hey,
look, we got a sign now.
So legit.
I was going to try to play it cool, but the first thing I thought was
Look at that. Look at that.
All right, look.
Forget us. Look at that.
We're going to spend half the episode just looking at it.
You're going to see
Look, it's gonna loop
random
again.
shots of us just going.
What's going on, guys? We're here again at Sideshow. It's always a special episode when we're here at Sideshow because there's a lot more people involved, and it's always fun, like, just to kind of have other people help us out making this happen. So
And it's also dope to just sit around so many like amazing comic books and amazing like
the toys,
figures and,
the
like,
toys.
Yeah,
Again, there's a gauntlet behind me.
Yeah.
Like, what
Listen,
more can you ask for?
I'd like to introduce you to my son, Groot.
Yeah,
Please never speak to me or my son ever again.
There's a couple hints on the table of what direction
Of
we're
what we're
talking
gonna
about
talk
today.
Yeah, last time, obviously, we had some X-Men comic books and X-Men figurines on there. And thanks again for viewers for watching that episode and liking it and really enjoying us talk about the X-Men, sort of like the X-Men legacy on film. So that was a fun one. But yeah.
All right. This episode, we're going to do something a little more interesting, or not more interesting, but a little interesting. We're doing a top 5 Keanu movies.
Hey.
And I think we're not going to have the same one.
No.
We're going to have very different movies in very different orders.
I think we're gonna have a lot of the same movies.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
but in
orders.
different. It's
yeah,
like
in different
yeah.
orders.
We've been circling this topic for a while. It's one of those topics that we all grew up on Keanu Reeves movies, and I feel like he has, like, every decade he has, like, a certain type of movie that he does, but he's always been one of those, like, you know, the internet's love for Keanu is kind of, it's great, it's funny, but it's like, I've always been a fan of Keanu. I don't need the internet to tell me to be a fan of him, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we all have, like, our favorites that we've kind of compiled.
Also, we're going to be talking about a couple big news topics.
Some sad news.
The elephant in the room.
Some
pretty much.
custody battles happening. Mom and dad aren't getting along. And we don't know what we're doing next weekend. We don't know at whose
Hey,
house
you
we
might have
house
two.
we're gonna be
You might
at
have
next.
2 bedrooms and 2 Christmases.
But you're double sad.
Should we kick this off?
Let's go.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think we're starting on the right.
All right, cool.
Or
So,
whatever. Yeah.
so let me just go through my 5 Keanu. I'm going to start with number 5 and obviously end with number 1 with a wild card number 6 after that. So my number 5 Keanu Reeves movies. So Keanu Reeves, as great as he is with action, he's always been a great romantic lead. And most people are going to, like, I think you guys are going to kind of roast me a little bit for this one.
Yep,
But-
we're getting ready right now.
Sure.
But my number 5 is a hybrid. Okay, I'm going to just kind of set it up a little. It's a hybrid sort of sci-fi time travel film with a romantic drama. I'm speaking about the great film, The Lake House, where he stars opposite his former Speed co-star, Sandra Bullock, where he plays a doctor who actually inherits a house or buys a house on a lake, and he finds out that he's communicating with the owner in the future, which is Sandra Bullock. Surprisingly, I really like this film. I actually own the DVD of this film. I saw this in theaters, and it is one of my favorite sort of like it feels very low key because it takes place in like one location, but it's kind of, you know, Keanu has a lot of romantic films he's done, like Walk in the Clouds, all that kind of stuff. But this one feels very like, it feels like it sits on the sort of like this little like hybrid of like sci-fi Keanu and like romantic Keanu. So I appreciate this movie. I like it a lot, and it's very rewatchable for me. So number 4, and most people are going to be surprised that this is so sort of like kind of down on my list.
I'm just gonna say I was completely wrong. David's list is gonna be completely different. From
Yeah, I'm telling you. Once I throw in the Lake House,
I'm thinking about it. I'm like, did I see a trailer?
This is gonna be his list is gonna be completely different than anything.
this
you're
came out in
saying.
2006, by the
We
way.
got 5
okay.
movies we've never heard of. He's like,
The ones you see in the bottom of the list to crackle. Like, he was in that?
he's doing all Pluto movies.
Keanu did this obscure show in Canada. No. Yeah.
I love
Please
David.
I mean, should I go down or should we just do this? Okay,
Go
okay.
ahead.
All right, my number
Can't wait.
4. You guys are gonna be surprised that this one's so kind of far down my list, but we have a hint right here, and my number 4 is the very iconic John Wick, and I feel like this is this generation's iconic Keanu role, and this feels like the amalgamation of everything he's done action-wise. Kind of put together in this one sort of like unstoppable force of John Wick. You have aspects of Neo, you have aspects of Constantine, you have like the attitude, the attitude of like Johnny Utah. There's like all these things in there, and it's pretty much Keanu. It's like the same way Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. John Wick is all Keanu Reeves. That is all him. I'm sure you guys will have more words about that, so I'm gonna just kind of like move on.
Yeah.
My number 3, and I mentioned this just now, it is one of the few, actually the only comic property that Keanu Reeves has done, and I'm talking about Constantine.
So this okay.
Now we're starting to make sense.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the
Welcome
list.
back.
Thank you. Hey,
Missed you,
I'm
bro.
here. Be here all day. Constantine. A lot of people did not like. I mean, Constantine holds like a very special place in my heart because it's a DC movie and it is, it is pure Keanu Reeves. And a lot of people didn't like his interpretation. They wanted him to be British or they wanted him to have blonde hair. But I feel like he definitely embodied that just like don't give a fuck attitude, you know what I mean, of Constantine. And like the chain smoking, like it was the Constantine, like it was that interpretation that I was like, okay, I'll go with this. I'll roll with it. Even if it wasn't 100% accurate, I'll roll with it. But like again, I'll move forward because I know you guys have more words for that. My number 2, one of the most legendary. Am I moving my hands too much?
No, you're doing
yeah,
great.
you got it. Great.
My number 2, it's the legendary, iconic '90s film, Point Break. Because you
I knew this was going to be on your list.
yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
It's on mine too.
Yeah, I feel like it's on
Wow,
everybody.
our lists are going to be different. This is great.
Yeah, I know.
All right, cool.
I mean, he has a huge body of work.
Yeah, he does.
Point Break. It's iconic. Like you can't. The way it's sort of ingrained.
From Venice.
Yeah, I know.
It's not on your. All right.
It's not on my list at all.
Really?
No.
Oh, I'm surprised.
Can't wait to hear it.
I mean, you speak Keanu. This is like one of his You say it in this.
Julian's gonna be like hardball, hardball.
Hey,
hardball.
you know what's crazy?
Wow.
I'll just let you
Dracula.
Rest in peace, G baby.
Spoiler alert.
Oh man. I don't think people would be expecting that one. Hardball.
Hey,
Point Break is an iconic '90s movie directed by Catherine Bigelow. It almost gave us like a little like resurgence of Patrick Swayze and like these action roles and stuff like that. And who can forget the iconic role, the iconic line of Utah 2.
There's 2 iconic lines in that movie, though.
I am an FBI agent. Yeah,
That's the one.
and the way and even got ingrained. You could tell how ingrained it was in the culture when the movie Hot Fuzz with what's his name, Simon Pegg. When there's a whole sequence talking about the chase scene and by the way, it has one of the best foot chase scenes on film. Like running
Very
through
true.
like Santa Monica and the West Side, just
Very true.
jumping over fences and stuff. Iconic.
Take that, Tom Cruise.
Exactly. Take that.
And
Tom
Will Smith and Men in Black.
And Will
Yeah.
Smith, the Men in Black.
Yeah.
I was just about to say
He was
that.
walking that alien though.
That was a dope ass scene.
Moving on, my number 1, and I don't think if people knew me in high school, they know that it's no surprise that this is my number 1. And my number 1 Keanu Reeves movie is The Matrix. And it couldn't have come at a better time for us to talk about this, with the announcement of The Matrix 4. And
True.
but The Matrix is one of those films that literally shaped my senior year because I was obsessed with The Matrix, the mythology, the philosophy behind it. I wore a all black suit to prom thinking I was freaking Neo. So
Did you have the glasses, too?
Did you
I
wear the
did have
coat?
the-
Did you wear the long
baby
coat?
glasses?
no, not the baby glass. I had
The Morpheus twins.
I can see.
I
Slick back
scoured eBay for that phone.
Ironically, you dressed up as John Wick for prom. Amy.
I didn't have long hair then, so yeah. There is a photo. Thank God there was no social media because there's a
Oh,
photo of
God.
me dressed up as like Neo. Yeah, The Matrix is my number one.
We're
And
gonna, when we film this or when we put this out, you gotta post that picture.
I can't find it.
Like,
I
when
tell
you talk
people,
about-
yeah, I can't
need to
find it. I've
find
told
it.
people about it, and they're like, "Where is it?" I was like, "I can't find that photo. It must
We
be in
need
like a
that
hard drive somewhere."
We don't find it.
I'm gonna track it down. I'm gonna track it down. That'll be the cover for this. Yeah, The Matrix is my number one. Iconic, legendary, and you know, I'm glad that Keanu's coming back for The Matrix 4. And my actual wild card, my number 6, is, and I think me and Jason share this one, The Devil's Advocate, because like who else like. Keanu was able to go toe to toe with Al Pacino in this film, and it's like one of those like really like those movies that has affected me differently as I've grown up. Like when I was a kid, it was creepy, and then like as an adult, like I get it now. I understand like where his motivations were coming from. So yeah, Devil's Advocate is my wild card.
There was a whole like genre of like lawyer thrillers
in
that era
that
I think was such a good bank of movies.
Yeah.
If you look at The Firm, if you look at Primal Fear, if you look at all these like that the courtroom drama was such a good setting. I don't think we get those anymore.
No, it's it's like those mid-budget movies that were so profitable back then. Like I was thinking about that nowadays. That would be like a series now.
Yeah, it would be Law and Order.
Yeah, exactly.
You just made it to where someone's gonna be like, we need to make a Devil's Advocate TV series.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
somebody's gonna watch this and be like, I got an idea. We're gonna pitch
Definitely
it.
coming
On
to
Amazon
Hulu.
Prime.
Cut the check.
Saw
Make it
here
good.
first.
Yeah, make it good.
Please.
Yeah, bring back Al Pacino.
They're not gonna do it.
All right, your turn.
My turn. You read your list backwards. You got photos and stuff. Mine's like in a note.
I have mine's on Letterboxd and everything is in perfect
His is
order.
Like,
His is
his
so
is like
late.
the posters. Like,
David's detail.
Yeah. It's like perfect visual references for
shooting
me.
off directors and shit. All right. I should what do you order?
David was ready.
Hold on. Shut up. So I'm gonna because mine was in the other order. Okay. So my number 5. All of my movies are sci-fi romantic ones. No, I'm kidding. My number 5. My number 5.
You mean A Walk in the Clouds was
A
a
Walk
time
in the
travel
Clouds,
movie?
A Walk in the Park, The Leg Out. No. Number 5 was Devil's Advocate. I'm
Okay.
such a sucker for those courtroom drama, that era of film. And like you said, it was him going toe to toe with Pacino.
Yeah.
It was a little meta. It was a little,
Yeah.
It was a well done movie, and it's some of those movies are a lot of movies from that era are hard to watch when you go back. That's one of the ones that like stands up, and you're like, oh, okay, this is as good as I thought it was. Number 4 would be John Wick. It's a little low, but I always appreciate those like action for action's sake, and we're just gonna have a lot of fun, not take ourselves too seriously, and I think that took this genre of film to a whole other level.
I feel like it's a very stunt man's movie.
Yeah, it's a
Because it was
stuntman's
directed.
movie.
It's directed by a former stuntman, and it's just like
Even doper.
Yeah, it's like showcasing that whole stuff.
And then next up, I have Constantine, which again, super enjoyed.
Yeah.
Visually, it was fun. I thought his interpretation of him was great. I thought the tone of the film was really good. It still feels
Very LA too.
feels very LA.
Yeah, which I really like too.
And then I would go. Number 2 would be Matrix. Matrix has to be on there because it changed the scope of cinema.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
That's
a whole different
sci-fi and action.
sci-fi and action, and also like it made us question everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that everyone's thinking in those terms now.
Yeah,
It's like,
the term red pill is
Red
like
pill,
such
blue
a
pill,
yeah.
exactly.
It's
and then my favorite Keanu movie is Point Break. It's such a quintessential LA. You fucked my head up when you told me that Point Break and Fast and the Furious is the same movie.
Yeah.
Swap. It's a
Which
palette
it
swap.
is.
yeah.
It is, but I didn't like not knowing that, and then I didn't like you telling
Now
me
you can't
that.
unsee it.
Now I can't
Yeah.
unsee it. It's the same
Yeah.
exact sequence of
FBI
events.
agent,
FBI
yeah.
Payoff,
agent.
the payoff
Rebel,
when Vin
yeah.
drives away from Paul. You're just like, I've seen that before.
It's the exact same
Yeah.
film, but you know what? I'm not mad. I like them both.
Yeah.
And then my wild card is Hardball. Rest in peace, G, baby.
I like your list, man. I like
Yeah.
both of y'all lists.
Yeah,
Thanks, man.
Now I'm gonna give you guys the best list.
Oh, okay.
At the end, I'm putting our list.
Dylan.
At the end,
At
at the end, I'm putting our list in a list, and then my.
We'll
favorites.
average it out. Yeah.
So my, I'm gonna just go with my
Wild card first.
my wild card,
Okay.
which is Devil's Advocate.
Okay.
I think you guys said enough. Like I can't really say anything else about that movie, but that's why I just threw it out there. Other than Charlize Theron is amazing in that movie.
Oh, she's great in that movie.
She's awesome.
You know what? I was actually thinking when you were talking about it. That movie hit like a cusp of, because remember like in '99 there was all these like end of the world type movies, like End of Days and stuff like that. That movie hit that sort of like in between of like legal dramas and apocalyptic dramas and stuff, where I guess in that era of filmmaking, like nobody knew what was gonna happen in 2000, so it had that like,
because they thought computers.
Was
gonna kill it. We were so dumb.
Continue. Sorry.
Number 5, Constantine. That's like it. Even though like that movie gets bragged on a lot, I thought it was really dope, and I thought it was in a time where like people were like just trying to push out like comic book movies.
Yeah.
And I don't think people really even knew that was really
Came
a
out
comic
in
book.
05.
Yeah.
Most people didn't.
People didn't really know that was a comic book movie.
Yeah.
And again, we get like, I think that was the first like adult movie I've ever seen Shia LaBeouf in.
Yeah, that's right. He was in.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, he was in that. Yeah.
I've never seen him in anything other than
Tilda Swinton was in it too.
Yeah,
she was
Tilda
great.
Swinton, too.
Yeah.
That was a good cast.
Yeah, she was-
Archangel,
she was awesome.
She was,
Jaimin Hansu was in that too.
Yeah.
Hey,
See? Awesome movie.
Shia LaBeouf curses so funny in that movie, and like it's like he never learned how to curse.
It's because he's coming straight off of
Even Stevens.
off of Even Stevens,
Yeah.
And he
right?
would say like "mother damn" or like just things that didn't make sense. I love that.
Number 4. Oh my gosh, what was my number 4? I think. Oh yeah, Hardball. Hardball is number 4.
Shout out to Stilo.
Sorry, shout out to
Shout out
Steve.
to
Yes.
Stilo.
Shout out to Mike.
Shout out to Chris.
Like shout out to G Baby. Soundtrack was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That
We
was-
got
yeah.
a song with all the littles.
Yeah,
we got
did.
a song with all
Awesome.
the little
I
rappers.
forgot about
Yeah.
that.
Oh my
Step-
I still remember
god.
that
Strike
song.
one.
Wow.
Like that. I'm sorry. Like that. And I don't think I've ever seen Keanu as a parent like role, like
Parental
Yeah.
figure. Yeah.
a parent like
Yeah.
role.
But he
That
was still a
all-
dude in
but he
that
was still
role.
a dude.
Yeah,
He was
right.
still-
Yeah, he was still very.
I don't know what I'm
duty.
doing.
That was like Hardball was like that era's Mighty Ducks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was like that era's
Good
Mighty
call.
Ducks. So
Yeah.
that's my number 4.
They should have definitely made some sequels to that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should have.
Yeah.
They should have.
The Revenge of G Baby.
Yeah.
The
We
Revenge.
coming back.
Exactly. Number 3 is John Wick.
Okay.
Because like you're saying, like this is like that era's Keanu movie. I think that is also this era's like kind of action star movie.
Oh yeah. Peak
You know?
action star.
Yeah, that's like there's not really like, I mean, of course you have like Mission Impossible, but
Yeah.
even still, like people don't really know what Tom Cruise's character's
Yeah,
name is.
right.
I
Ethan
can't
Hunt.
even think of it at this moment, but like everyone knows John Wick, like
Yeah.
action.
Well, his name is the movie. That's
Well,
the
yeah,
thing.
but like as an action hero.
Yeah.
That's like.
But the,
there's
fun,
no,
the,
like,
the funny
action
thing is
hero.
like how John Wick and Keanu are just so synonymous of names.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You say
yeah.
John Wick or Keanu, everybody's gonna know what you're talking
Exactly,
about. You know?
yeah.
Who would you say was the last action franchise star before this?
Before John Wick came on the scene.
Yeah, because everybody's been like
Liam
dabbling
Neeson.
in- Yeah,
Yeah.
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson.
Yep.
Yeah, he had the
When they
little.
started running on top of roofs, that's when everybody was like, "All right,
I mean,
now."
you could say that
Thanks,
too,
man.
or you could, if you want. And it's crazy that I'm bringing this up,
Yeah.
but I guess Fast and Furious.
Furious.
Oh, yeah.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
They didn't reach the kind of success, but as far as like movies to just put on and it just has action was all those Jason Statham movies.
Oh,
That too, yeah.
Exactly.
Transporter.
another
Yeah.
great series, Crank, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was my number. Oh, number 2, of course, Matrix. Shape the generation of. Let me ask you guys, what is? Because I said this on Twitter. What is the better trilogy, John Wick or Matrix?
John Wick. Because y'all didn't see the
Matrix.
third one.
Matrix.
And I'm going to tell
Matrix.
y'all why.
I haven't even seen John Wick 3 yet, but I'm
Yeah.
going to say that John Wick is a better trilogy.
Just
than,
go with that. Go with that.
I haven't even seen
Well,
Two.
you know what? Technically, though, The Matrix wasn't a trilogy because the Revolutions and Reloaded were one movie. It was almost like Infinity War and Endgame, how they were shot at the same time. technically it's like
True.
2 movies.
Okay.
David loves those like party
little
pooper facts, and now it just ruins the whole.
I went to the
You know what he meant, bro.
3 times.
I had to buy 3 tickets.
I had to buy 3 tickets.
He's the one that spikes the punch
I
with
gave
LaCroix.
him a trilogy of my money.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with John Wick. Like,
Okay.
as the better trilogy. And number 1, Speed.
Mm.
I
Good
really
choice.
wanted to say
I was waiting for one of you guys to say
Finally,
Speed. Yeah.
I don't think
Finally.
I've ever seen an action movie as many times as a
Really?
kid
Okay.
Yeah.
than Speed. I used
Yeah.
to have the like tape, and I used to watch it
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
That and
It's also synonymous with the 90s.
very.
Like, yeah.
When he says tape, it was these old black boxes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for like
We'll put one
young
up on
people.
Instagram.
We'll put one up.
We'll show you what
A
it looks like. Yeah.
VHS is just like a square box that you put in another square
the
box.
size
And you gotta rewind it
Yeah.
to watch it
It's
again.
about the
Yeah.
size of a book. Actually,
Exactly.
no, a book is this other square
Yeah,
thing
I forgot. I'm
that's
sorry.
like full of paper. I have no references.
But yeah, that is very quintessential with the 90s,
Yeah.
and it's like when you think of Keanu, like you have to think of
Yeah,
Speed.
you have
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah,
Sandra
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper.
Man,
Yeah.
he was like the whole like that works.
He was a
The
good
whole
villain.
thing
He was,
worked.
yeah.
Great
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
That's it.
Jason,
me.
you're up.
So I'm gonna start with my wild card first because it's basically like my wild card is Speed. So that was it was
Very different lists. I like
yeah. So I always thought it was fun to make like because buses are so boring when you see them. It's just like they just go so slow and they stop all the time. This one's like this bus can't stop. I was like yes, somebody understands
The
me.
bus that can't slow down.
Jason always comes through with the stoner perspective, and he's like, "Who looked at a bus and was like action film?"
Did anybody ever see Speed 2?
The one
yeah,
on the
with
boat.
Jason
Yeah.
Patrick. It's the one with the old boy from
They
Lost
were on a
Boys.
boat.
They were on the boat. It was like
Yeah.
was it a cruise or a yacht?
It was like a
Yeah.
It was a
yacht.
okay,
I watched
okay.
that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I watched that.
Actually, it was a cruise ship.
It was a cruise ship,
Number
right?
5, thank God there's an athlete on this podcast because nobody mentioned Shane Falco in the replacements. That's
I knew you
crazy.
were
Oh
gonna say
yeah!
that.
Wow.
You guys, Shane Falco was one of the best, like never do well quarterbacks. Like,
That's true.
like
Yeah.
True.
and you knew he was. I mean, like
That's a good choice. That's a good. Yeah, that's a
and
good
he
choice.
actually could throw like a decent spiral if you
Yeah.
watch the movie again. Like, and there's so many other cool little things in that. Like John Favreau, like he's a
Yeah.
crazy ass linebacker.
Yeah.
Like Gene Hackman. Like the movie's just dope.
Great movie.
I just love like the.
completely forgot about
Yeah,
that.
I love the concept of that whole movie because
Yep.
it was like during a NFL
Lockout,
lockout, right?
Lockout.
Yeah.
And that was
It's
like
just
kinda
such a
like
cool
around
little
time
like
when they were
story.
doing it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this one got these like cast offs and then
Yeah.
kind of built a ragtag team. I love
Yeah.
stories like that. So that was my that's my number 5, right? Number 4 is Point Break. You know,
Okay.
just, you can't be. I mean, it's hard to be from LA and not love that movie.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're not
Yeah.
from like Venice, it's just
Sorry,
so like it's like a it's a nostalgic love story, and it's
Yeah.
like it's Keanu and Patrick Swayze at their
Yeah.
best. Like, number 4 for me is John Wick 3, Parabellum. Y'all didn't see it because in John Wick 2, so you guys know at the end, it's excommunicado.
Yeah.
Imagine going to get an Uber when everybody's trying to kill you. This man has to beat up 800 people to get an Uber. So, like, that's in the first, like, hour in the movie. You're just like, Jesus, man, can somebody get this guy a water?
I'm gonna go watch John Wick 3 tonight.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. You're
That
hyping it
one,
up really well.
Like, that one is
Yeah.
that one is amazing. Am I number 3? Number 3 is The Matrix.
Okay.
For sure. That is like we all said. Like
Yeah.
who didn't want to do all those? Like,
Yeah.
Take it. That's still a joke. Like take the red pill or the green pill.
Yeah.
Black Leather ran action movies
Yeah.
in the early 2000s.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
They made the X-Men wear black leather because of the Matrix.
Because of the
Yeah.
Matrix.
It was. I'm telling you, it was that late '90s, early 2000s sort of like techno-y kind
Yeah.
of vibe
What
that
came
they were.
out first, Blade or Matrix?
Blade came out in
Blade
'98.
started everything.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Blade is the most uncredited movie of all time.
Yeah.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
true.
Number 2, Bill and Ted's Excellent
Yeah, I knew
Adventure.
that
Yeah.
was on there too.
How-
Yeah, I knew it
I
would
was-
just be him. I knew it would just be him.
Yeah, I knew it'd be you who would bring it up. Yeah,
I figured out. Yeah.
gotta
Yeah,
get
I
to-
kind of left it to you.
You gotta get to Bill
which
and Ted,
is
like-
also getting a sequel, which
Yes,
is like
yes.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, Bill and Theodore, like those adventures. Watch that and watch Bogus Journey. It's just like it's just a good time.
I like
You
Bogus Journey more than Excellent
A
Adventure.
lot of people, do, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, I like
that's
Bogus
a-
Journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of up to debate, but
Yeah.
it's dope because if you guys never seen Bill and Ted, please go back. It's like a history lesson, and they kind of make it a
Yeah.
lot of fun, and it's like stoner humor. and I recommend it.
Yeah.
But,
It's very California
Yeah.
too. It's like yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, also very California.
Suggestive.
Yeah.
And number one for me is Devil's Advocate because that was a film. Like I still will watch that
Yeah.
every time it comes. Mr. Lomax.
Yeah.
Like come on, like and Charlize Theron again, of course.
Yeah.
Like there's just so much depth in that movie. Once you find out that Al Pacino is the devil, you're
Yeah.
just like, I remember when I watched that, I was like, oh, that's
Yeah.
crazy. And
Yeah.
I love the plot.
Even
twist.
though like you kind of already knew he was.
I didn't really know.
Man, but that
Imagine when you were like
ending
you were a
ending
kid.
monologue
Okay,
too.
when you were
yeah.
a kid and y'all first
Yeah.
watched Wild Things, did y'all know all that was going on in Wild Things?
No.
See, you didn't know Kevin
But
Bacon was in on it.
I just remember like posters of Devil's Advocate, and I was
that tripped
like,
us all out.
that guy Al
Yeah.
Pacino's probably the devil.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my number one. Devil's Advocate. Anytime it comes on, I always watch it. It's one of the movies I own
Yeah.
on Blu-ray. It's a fantastic film, and I'm
But
really.
do you own a Blu-ray player?
I do. I have 2 PlayStations.
Oh,
I guess that
never
still
mind.
counts.
Yeah, it does.
Do you
Yeah.
own a
Do you guys
VCR?
still? Do you guys own
VCR.
Blu-ray
Yes, I
players?
do own a VCR.
No,
I'm sure I do. I just don't know where
you
it
don't
is.
use.
Wait,
If you
what?
have a PlayStation,
A
you
Blu-ray
Owning a
player.
Blu-ray player.
No, I don't have one.
Do you guys still buy movies? So you guys don't
No,
buy like physical?
I
just do
haven't.
digital.
I think
Because it's
I'm
early.
the only one that still does that.
Yeah, I haven't bought.
I like to own my films.
Yeah.
And it's
Let me
funny
get the
'cause
digital
it's-
copy then.
Huh?
Let me get the digital copy.
No.
We'll talk about this.
Yeah.
And it's funny because towards the end, when we were going from DVDs to streaming services, I started buying a lot of DVDs because they were always like in bids
$2.
for like $2
Yeah.
or $3, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'll start collecting these.
Yeah.
And now it's like, why did I do that?
Well, Blu-rays now are in bargain bins now. Now you can
Yeah.
get Blu-rays for $3 too.
yeah.
So that was your number one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Interesting list we all had. That's
Yeah.
pretty tight.
I thought
Yeah.
we were gonna
Yeah.
have like the same type of things.
No, which is
What
indicative of us.
I find it kind of interesting, like, talking about Keanu and all the settings that these movies are in. They're all very like set in California or LA. Like you're talking about like Constantine, Point Break,
Even the
Speed.
Matrix. Weren't they in
Even the
LA
Ma-
in the Matrix? And in the first one?
Yeah, I think it's like supposed to look
Yeah, it's
like
supposed to
any
look like
city.
LA.
or
You know
whatever.
what, guys? Let me throw a Monkey Wrench question at you, since it's like
It was shot in
our type
Australia.
of
though.
nerds at the cool table. Who, since he's in talks with the MCU, off the top, who do you think he could be in the MCU?
Oh, we said it
We
last
talked
time.
about it.
Silver
Silver
Surfer.
Surfer.
For
For
Silver
sure.
Surfer. So
Silver
that's
Surfer,
where
yeah.
we- So we say
Please
Silver
cast
Surfer.
him as Silver Surfer.
Silver
Yeah.
Surfer.
I saw someone
Incredible.
something. I saw Moon Knight, but I would much rather him as
No,
Silver
I
so-
saw
yeah.
Moon Knight too.
I would much rather him as Silver Surfer.
I think because Keanu's this like sort of he's become this bigger than himself, kind of almost this like entity, and I
Yeah.
feel like being Silver Surfer would just kind of like solidify that a little
Yeah.
And he's a server.
bit. Yeah.
We're eager to see what he has next. He's got another Bill and Ted. He's got another Baba Yaga's on his way back, and for some reason, him and Thanos are like the most unkillable dudes in the screen.
Yeah.
So you cannot kill John
Yeah.
Wick. I don't care what you have.
What are your guys' thoughts on the Matrix 4 that they got to just announce and
Let's
stuff?
do
like
it.
It's supposed to be like
still so early. Like they're gonna start casting a bunch of like wild people. You know, I hear Tom Holland's gonna be free, so he might be in it.
We'll get on that next.
we don't know that.
Take it easy.
Ease up. Ease up.
Yeah.
I do have one more wild card. No, I'm kidding.
I felt like you were gonna.
I do, actually.
He definitely does.
You
I
want
do.
to say my own
It's
private
gonna
idol?
be-
Or what do you
No,
think?
no,
That's
no.
gonna be
Street
Johnny-
Kings.
Street Kings. I
Street
knew it,
Kings. Yeah.
Y'all let him have
I
it.
remember
huh?
seeing that movie. Yeah.
You guys let him have it too.
Yeah.
David.
I got that in there.
You can't fight. You can't fight Davidisms. You just got to make fun of them. But they still have to happen.
All right, cool. So yeah, those are our top 5. So out of all of these, which one do you think is the top one? Top.
I guess we all could agree that The Matrix was the most
Matrix,
groundbreaking
yeah.
one
Yeah.
for what it's done for
Yeah.
cinema. Like,
Yeah.
But
everybody.
I
like,
always go back and forth with these like societal best film and then like personal best film. And I think whether it's how often you would watch it if it comes on, or like would you recommend it, or like this stands as like when we all said Matrix, we all said like it changed everything. But it was less about our experience with it. It was more so how impactful it was.
Well, I feel like it was from my experience. Like
Yeah.
it impacted me a lot.
For
Like,
sure.
Yeah, yeah,
we look at you crazy if you're like, you ain't seen The Matrix?
yeah,
It's like,
yeah. And I definitely, you can definitely know that there was a shift there with Keanu Reeves' career. I keep pointing at him like he's right here, but it's like
He is right there.
And he's
Yeah.
clearly chafing because I posed him terribly. Okay, I get
Very
better with that.
expensive suit.
Yeah.
Chase.
But there was definitely a shift there with his career where it just kind of like elevated him to like a different level. Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Cool. So those are our top 5 Keanu Reeves films.
Do you guys think he would have had this solid of a resurgence without like the viralness of how awesome of a person he is?
You know, the funny thing is like I feel like the internet's always had a soft spot for him. Because remember there was like the sad Keanu meme like years ago, and there was always like, oh, Keanu was like sitting on a train and gave up his seat to somebody.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the internet's always loved Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
I don't know where the super resurgence of it came from, because I was like, I've always seen memes of him online.
From the open hand photos.
Well, I think that's still kind of new too.
But that's one of like the bigger things that's like been like his. Everybody's like, oh, he's such a gentleman. He always has his hands open.
Oh, the hover hands.
Yeah,
Oh, the hover hands.
Yeah, Keanu hands.
That's like fairly new, right? Like
No, he's been doing that. It's just people started pointing it out.
Yeah.
Did you see? I just completely went blank. What was the movie on Netflix with the Asian?
Always Be My Maybe.
Always Be My Maybe.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite cameos he's ever
It's
done.
so good.
It's so funny.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
He's playing like an asshole version of himself. You know.
And you can only play that if everyone already understands that you're awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it wouldn't be ironic if
Yeah.
you were any other type of
Yeah,
actor.
yeah. He was also in Toy Story 4 this year, which, by the way, his character is hilarious. He plays like a little Canadian stunt toy who like rides a motorcycle, and it's like so perfect for him. Yeah.
When I was going through this list, also another thing I realized. So there was a movie called Keanu.
Yeah.
Oh
the
yeah,
cat.
Jordan
I
Peele.
had no idea he was the voice of the cat in that movie. I haven't seen the movie, but like I was
haven't
looking
seen
through it. I was like,
That's one of those things you got to see on IMDb. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't watch that movie.
I didn't see it
I
either.
didn't see that either.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Tight.
All right.
Those are our top 5. Yeah. Go watch his
time-
movies.
Now time to be sad, everybody.
Yeah, let's talk about the
Somber
elephant in the
note.
room, and we have him here
Womp,
too.
womp, womp.
The news
Is
that
this the last time we get to see this, like in the near future? Because obviously Disney's gonna end up buying Sony, or like. Doing
And
something.
ironic
want
that it's
that
an
to happen.
Iron Spider
Yes.
because this is exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the?
What's the news?
Well, the news is that Sony is taking his ball home, and
they don't want to play anymore.
doesn't want to
Yep.
play
They
with
got tired of
Marvel.
They were like, we don't want to share.
Technically, so I mean, we're not gonna try to get too detailed into it because it's way above our pay grade. But
I don't know how to read any of that. Language.
yeah, no, exactly. But the gist of it is that after Far From Home made $1 billion, there was they were trying to renegotiate. Marvel and I guess Disney and Sony were trying to renegotiate the Spider-Man terms, and I guess Disney came to Sony with an offer like, hey, we'll go in 50-50 with you, co-finance, and we'll get 50% of the profits. And I guess Sony wanted the same. They wanted to keep the same deal, and there was no counter offer or whatever. So they're kind of at a standstill right now, I guess. And the news obviously leaked to the press, and the internet, went
crazy with
went on fire.
The same time as the chicken sandwich wars.
Yeah. The great chicken sandwich war of 2019.
Bye
There's
here.
just so much stuff going on this year.
Yeah. This week. This week.
Chicken debate lasted way longer than I thought it would.
Yeah.
Surprisingly,
Still
right?
going.
8
Yeah.
days of chicken talk.
Yeah.
And then
Still
Shake
It is
Shack-
still going, to this
weird
day.
that Shake Shack jumped in. It's like, your chicken sandwich is $11. Hold on. We're at a different price point here. Sit down.
Yeah. Tom Holland and Spider-Man.
I haven't enlisted yet to the chicken sandwich war, so I don't know yet.
No, it's
I
okay.
have to get shipped out.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from. Sorry, Tom Holland and not playing with Marvel anymore.
What do you guys think? What do you think he feels? What do you think? How can they resolve it?
It's still so fresh that everybody's probably not knowing how to feel. You gotta,
I know how I feel. I'm upset.
Yeah,
For
they're
sure.
trying to do it. Like
Yeah.
D20
Upset.
at the time of this show, D23 will already have happened.
So they might change.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
they might have like a Hail Mary deal,
Yeah.
as it so happens in the industry, as we hope. But if not,
Yeah.
Disney has a way of getting what they want, and it's just literally like, okay, so
Yeah.
here's this much.
Yeah.
We're just gonna take all of that.
I think creatively
kinda
it just
sucks
sucks because of how much work has gone into integrate Spider-Man so perfectly into the overall universe, and kind of he was being set up to be almost the next Iron Man, and he was going to be the next leader of the Avengers. We know where this leads, right?
Yeah.
We know Spider-Man, and so it's just one of those we start to fear that whole what could have been scenario. And like we said, it might change by the time this episode comes out, but if it doesn't, it's sad because you have a kid, an actor who's super excited to be a part of this whole thing, and who knows if he would even come back, himself. you know? So as a fan and as a creative, it sucks to hear. because you want.
It's gonna be a huge bummer. It's like
Yeah.
we're gonna finally get. If it goes back to Sony, we're gonna finally get Spidey and Venom, and it's gonna be Tom Holland and Tom Hardy, and then literally and that's gonna be the feeling because what is I mean, there's no Iron Man, so like what is so as the Spider-Man just fighting crime and he's like grizzled. How old is he gonna be? Is he gonna be 20?
Spider-Man's gonna
Is he
move
be
to
like
San
26?
Francisco.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's what's gonna happen.
New storyline.
Yeah.
and,
The
like,
problem with a lot of these conversations is the longer you take to deliberate or the longer you take to figure it out, the less options you have with the actors.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like there was, I can't remember what it was called, but there was a movie that I think Tom Holland was in that was a lot of money was put up.
Yeah, I
and
heard
there
about
was
this.
a series of reshoots.
Yeah.
And the test screenings were so bad that they asked for another series of reshoots, but it was like $100 million movie, and by the time they were reshooting, like 18 months had gone by.
Isn't it the one with Daisy Ridley?
Daisy Ridley,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Is Tropic Thunder?
No, I can't
No.
remember what it is
No,
either. But yeah,
I've seen
Is it
photos
Uncharted?
of it. No, it's not
No, it wasn't
Uncharted,
Uncharted.
but
It
it's like
wasn't
sort
Uncharted,
of.
but it's kinda like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
But
Yeah.
yeah, 18 months had gone by, and the kid was a fucking adult. So
Yeah.
you can't shoot. It's going to be like one scene we're arguing, and I'm like 17, and the next thing I'm like 21.
With a goatee.
That would be hilarious. But,
You got bags
so
under
yeah,
your
like,
eyes.
Let's wrap this
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Bring the Brinks truck out.
Yeah.
Buy Spider-Man back.
Yep.
What do you think Spider-Man's worth?
Yeah, I've been thinking
well,
about that.
after
Like,
them, hitting the 1 billion
billion
mark.
mark,
I'm
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, so what's Spider-Man worth? 10 billion? 5 billion?
Probably.
No, how much did they buy? How much
What's
did
a
they
made-up
buy?
number? A
Well, how much did they buy Star
gazillion?
Wars? They bought Star
that's what
Wars
I'm
for,
saying.
$4
It's way
billion?
above our pay grade. I don't even know
Yeah,
what
they
it's
bought
worth.
Star Wars for like $4 billion. So
Yeah, they did.
let's not
No,
get
they
into-
not just Star Wars, the entire Lucasfilm.
We're not even gonna get into Disney bread.
Yeah.
We'll get lost in that,
Yeah.
that little hole that we're
That's-
not even
that's
close
a-
I
to.
do feel
That's a very
intimidated
deep
starting
pool.
the conversation, but I was just curious where it was going to go.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
I
glad
think
we got
easily at least
Where-
1 billion. I feel silly even mentioning that. Yeah.
If
I'm
this
like, a
doesn't,
gazillion.
Yeah.
if this doesn't get figured out, where would you guys want? Would you guys want to keep seeing where this?
Yeah, on home
Spider-Man's
video.
from?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, see, here's the thing, and like people were mentioning this online that like, you know, Sony did have a hand in Into the Spider-Verse, but that's Sony Animation. I mean, that shows you just like
Give them the keys.
yeah, you know what I mean, that they know a subsection of that company knows how to handle Spider-Man well.
Yeah.
So we did get the Spider-Verse because of that,
But that's
them
the
owning
thing.
it.
No one intends to make a bad movie.
True.
Like,
True.
Sorry. People go out and they spend a lot of money, and for the time being, they enjoy their product and they put it out to the world to be judged. And there's also perspective and where it stands in the universe. We enjoyed Spider-Man so much, partly because of the universe and not fully just because of how good the movies were. They were good, but
Yeah.
it was so immersive.
It was allowing him to play in the sandbox, and that's what
Exactly.
was fun for us because so many years of seeing Spider-Man, you know,
By himself.
you know,
Yeah.
not connecting, seeing him interact with Captain America, you know, like with Iron
Yeah,
Man,
it's a bummer.
even just
Instead of Jamie Foxx.
yeah, yeah.
Was I not supposed to do that?
God.
Okay. Was I not supposed to say that? Okay. I won't talk much.
I think that's what was satisfying about seeing him in this universe.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I mean, they could. I mean,
Please
Yeah.
fix this.
yeah, that's it. That's all we can say is fix it.
Julian's
I wanna
having a
go
breakdown.
home.
I hate it here.
Yeah.
Fix this, please.
I want my room back.
Julian's gonna write a letter.
Yeah.
Did you guys see there was an article that said like fans are gonna storm the?
It doesn't
Sony?
matter.
I was like, what?
It's just an
It
article.
literally
No,
said. It said
That,
like,
then that's just like internet weirdo.
no, but
corner.
it literally said that fans are gonna storm Sony and take back that. So I'm like, where do you find the rights?
I don't
to
believe
take
that.
back?
I don't believe that.
Where do you keep
don't
Spider-Man?
Where do you keep the Spider-Man rights?
Tell me where the rights are.
What?
Like,
Where's that filing cabinet?
Why don't you come with me to jail? Like, just follow me, you stupid ass.
Give us those rights so we can take it to the Marvel
well,
building.
we're bummed out.
That makes no
I hope it ends well.
Yeah, but like I said, yeah, it might change by the time this episode airs, so we
Please
could be just
change.
talking out of our butts.
Please
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
But yeah, I think that kind of does it for this. I mean, there's a.
Have you guys been watching anything, or has anything popped up on your radar
I've been
in
on
the last-
Succession, so
Okay.
that's all I've been watching right now.
Got you. I started Pennyworth,
Mm.
and I'm really enjoying it. It's very niche and very like kind of on its own. There are some Easter eggs, but nothing.
Which show?
Pennyworth.
Pennyworth.
Oh, Pennyworth. Oh yeah, I just started that too. I just started Pennyworth. It is good.
Do you
Yeah,
think it
right.
would be just as good if you took out the Batman element out of it, and if it
It
was
might-
just about a guy who's a butler or comes from butlers, I guess?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think
it-
it,
it
would.
a- it
because
actually-
it doesn't lean on Batman much.
Okay.
It doesn't lean on it at all,
Yeah.
except for the name Thomas Wayne.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like in two episodes. I'm only 4 episodes in, so.
He gets bigger in it, but either way, it's not like
Mm-hmm.
don't you love bats? Like
Yeah.
you know, you expect them to just
Yeah.
And
do
they-
like stupid drops, but no.
They picked an actor who, like, when I wasn't paying attention, but he noticed it. Like,
Yeah, he has the same. You know how there's a bunch of different British accents. He has Michael Caine.
he sounds
really?
exactly like
so
Michael
he
Caine.
sounds
He has
just
a
like
Cockney
him.
accent.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Like I don't want to co-sign.
I don't know. Like I just know that that's the term that they use for his accent. I'm like,
Okay. I was like,
I'm not
maybe
British, obviously.
Yeah, I felt like an insult. I was like, I don't want to hurt nobody. I don't know what he
I
said.
don't know.
But yeah, it's a fun.
I was about to do it, but I'm not gonna do it.
No,
This is not the place for that.
No, not even on the ride back. But it has a very like James Bond, ex-military,
Yeah.
suits and old cars kind of vibe, which is like right up my alley. So it's a lot of fun. I also started Perpetual Grace Limited
Oh, that's a fantastic
on
show. Yeah.
Epix. This show is going to be like, if it keeps going the way it is, it's going to be one of the most amazing shows.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it feels very Breaking Bad. Ben Kingsley is a star. It's I can't recommend it enough. That's probably my favorite thing I started watching.
Tight.
What about you? Anything?
No. I've been watching John Wick and all these other movies.
I've been watching
Jason's like the shit we're
Mindhunter
supposed to
season
talk
2.
about.
Yeah. Oh, I watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, what'd you think?
What'd you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way a stuntman's gonna fade Bruce Lee like that.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah, you were talking about this.
so I'm like, Quentin must have really. Okay, so Quentin must be a Chuck Norris fan because Bruce Lee beat the brakes off Chuck Norris, and like Chuck Norris was like that guy back
Yeah.
then. And Bruce broke him down like an old shotgun. So I think like Quentin was probably really mad about that, and he was like, I'll get his ass back, but on my terms. There's no way Bruce Lee is starting a fight with a running jump kick. And then the second kick was another running jump kick.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That was
For those who don't know what's going on, we reviewed Once Upon a Time in Hollywood on
Yeah.
the last episode, but he hadn't watched
Yeah, I
it.
hadn't
seen it.
So he just kind of sat there. So
Yeah.
now he gets to.
Yeah, I get to sit there.
He's
drum-
like responding to shit we said earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just didn't. The fight was. Just, so I guess you're trying to establish that Brad Pitt was like.
Yeah,
the
that's what I
guy.
said on
He
the
was
last
like,
episode,
He's
yeah.
the most indestructible. He was a $6 million man.
Yeah.
With like 16 bucks.
Yeah.
So you're just.
Yeah, that fucking car.
like, all right.
Yeah.
And the ending is cool. You know, I like the Tarantino universe where he changes history.
Yeah.
And like the good people get to live and the bad people, rightfully die.
Yeah.
But,
Yesterday also was the 10-year anniversary of Inglourious.
Yeah, I watched it last night.
I can't believe that's been 10 years.
I know.
That feels like a newer
yeah.
movie.
The opening
Yeah.
scene of that, somebody tried to top that. Like, au revoir, show shut
Yeah.
up. Well,
Yeah.
they should, what the
No, that movie is
That
like
movie's
I rewatched it last night, like really, really watching it, and it's such a well done movie. Just every scene, everything is just it's like a tight movie. You know, it's not lazy. Yeah,
Yeah, good stuff.
yeah, it's a very good movie.
I've already said what I was watching. Succession.
Yeah.
I said Mindhunter.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna do that again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll do that.
Yeah.
All right, let us know what you guys are watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's anything we're missing. Or
Yeah. Talk to us. We talk
Down
back.
in the comments. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's good.
That's it.
So find us at cooltablepodcast.com. You can find it all our socials at cooltablepod or at cooltablepodcast. My name is David. You can find me at David Gallardo.
Youssef at YGLA.
At Julien Edwards.
At Jazen. Why do you guys say your name reluctantly? I, don't know. It's
I always
like
forget.
You're so.
Shout out to Sideshow.
Yeah.
Again.
And Sideshow Collectibles.
Look at the sign again.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys again.
But yeah, follow Sideshow on YouTube and follow us on YouTube. Find us Nerds at the Cool Table. Yeah.
Sweet.
Hey, did you like that video? Be sure to subscribe by clicking the S icon on your screen and click that bell icon to be notified whenever a new video is posted. If you'd like more info on the items featured in this video, click the link provided under Product Info. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to let your geek side show.